Okay, let's talk about this. Good morning. Downtown LA, yesterday was 82 degrees. Guess what? Same today. 82 as well is what we're expecting. That's 10 degrees above the average of 72. That sunrise coming up at 6:27, and the sun will set later this evening at 7:22. As we take a look at one of our computer models, high pressure is actually situated here, right over the four corners, and it's going to start to weaken, and it's going to allow this trough of lower pressure. Not so much that storms are going to get close to us necessarily, but it will increase the onshore flow, and that will give us that nice sea breeze, and it will get gusty at times over the mountains and deserts. We get a little chunk of energy here midweek next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that will give us an increase in the marine layer, and that could produce some light drizzle. So just a little subtle change as we get to the weekend, and more noticeable cooling as we get into early next week. The heat risk is moderate today, and then as we get into tomorrow, it gets down to just elevated, and then you can see Sunday into Monday getting to slight to very low risk for heat. So that's indicative of the cooling trend that we're expecting as we get to the weekend and next week. 2 to 4 foot sets coming in for Ventura County LA beaches. It will be increasing to 3 to 5 feet later this afternoon, so watch that if you're headed to the beach. 3 to 6 feet already for portions of Orange County and San Diego. Here's our 7-day forecast as we look at much nicer conditions or more comfortable conditions as we look at temperatures getting close to average and then maybe even slightly below average by midweek next week. But it will stay pretty hot today, especially if you're headed to the Coachella Valley. 102 in Palm Springs, very hot with some increasing winds this afternoon, and then progressively cooler as we get into early next week. All right, some really hot temperatures the last couple of days, but we're starting to see a little bit of the marine layer, some cloud cover. Is it going to finally cool off today? How much longer do we have to wait? I'll have all the details in my forecast.
And getting
all right, the weekend is here. Will the heat and very hot temperatures continue? Yesterday, we actually did break a record, or we tied a record in Palm Springs with that 101. But all of us really suffered through some of the heat, some of the hottest temperatures of the year thus far. 88 in Chino yesterday, 89 in Riverside, 86 in Burbank to that 82 downtown. We're still going to look at one more hot day as high pressure continues to still be in control of our weather. But the good news is it is going to start to weaken later this afternoon and evening. And you will notice if you are along the coast, probably more noticeable for everybody as we get to tomorrow and Sunday as the onshore flow really does kick in, booting that ridge of high pressure off to the south and east. So we will get some cooling. It's just going to be until tomorrow, Sunday, and then we'll get more of a cool down as we get to next week. We might even get a deep enough marine layer that it can squeeze out some light drizzle as we get to next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. In the meantime, right now, temperatures already in the upper 70s, 78 in Pasadena, 75 downtown LA to that 91 in Palm Springs. Highs will range anywhere from 102 possible in Palm Springs to that 70 degrees near the coast. I'll show you the 7-day in just a few moments. Back to you. And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quiban. This weather is brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Here's a look outside. Oh, so quick. I was going to say that was our Long Beach camera. Not much of a wind there, but I was trying to see if we could spot the racetrack, you know, for the Long Beach Grand Prix that's going on this weekend. It is going to be another hot day. This will be the last very hot day, especially for some of those inland areas, and then we'll start to see some cooling. The coastal clouds and fog will return, and that cooling trend will return tomorrow, or more noticeable into next week. And in fact, by next week, that marine layer will deepen enough to where we could get some light drizzle. But the real relief will come tomorrow for downtown LA. 77 degrees is what we're expecting tomorrow, 75 on Sunday, so even cooler. But today, still going to be in the low 80s. The winds will be quite gusty as we get to the afternoon and evening for portions of the mountains and deserts. But right now, it doesn't look too bad. 5-6 miles an hour in Bakersfield, less than that in Palmdale. I am starting to pick up some of that marine layer, which is well offshore. That should return tonight, move inland, and that will bring more cooling. But in Anaheim, plenty of sunshine, high temperature in the low 80s, cooling back down to 64 at 9 p.m. And for downtown LA, as I mentioned, it should get up to about 82 and then cooling down to the low 60s later at 9 o'clock. I'll send it back to you.